Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining our Prospect-To-Tenant panel at this year's Refresh Conference. I'm grateful to be here with you today, as I know that we have a lot of great information to cover that'll help our clients out there get a better sense of how Breeze and Breeze Premier products truly enhance the prospect-to-tenant workflows that they face every day. My name is Mandy Smith, and I'm a team lead of our Breeze Specialist sales team that works with all of our existing Breeze and Breeze Premier clients. There's no secret that with the pandemic shifting more and more work online, moving towards paperless methods, the importance of doing business online is increasing also. In fact, a recent study released by the National Multifamily Housing Council stated that 30% of Gen Zers said that the first thing they do before booking an apartment tour is check its ratings and reviews. Perception of your property management company matters now more than ever, and today we'll spend some time talking about how the tools available in Breeze and Breeze Premier can help increase your online presence and streamline your internal workflows. What a win-win! For our time together today, I'd like to introduce the panelists joining me and ask each of them a few questions about their product usage to see how it impacts their businesses. We'll wrap up with a discussion surrounding RentCafe solutions, helping businesses stand out among competitors. Now it's time to get to know our panelists. Megan, let's start with you. Please tell me about your business and where you're based.
Hello, everyone. My name is Smart Chick Megan Orser. I am the CEO at Smart Apartment Solutions and our management company, Smart Moves. We're based out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, and we're excited to be here today.
And next we have Danielle Frank.
Hello, everyone. My name is Danielle. I am the CEO of Gramercy Management Group. We are a property management company based out of Regina, Saskatchewan in Canada. We manage residential and commercial properties as well as condo corporations, and we use Yardi Breeze to manage our entire portfolio.
We also have Daniel Drozdek.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danielle, and I am the property manager for Barsky Property Management. We are based out of Hopewell, New Jersey, which is right outside of Princeton. We have a mixed portfolio of everything from residential to commercial, a few HOAs that we manage, and we're excited to be here.
Awesome. And it might get a little tricky getting through our panel today with two Danielles on it, but I'll do my best to use everyone's last names to keep us straight. So let's kick things off with a widely adopted Breeze and Breeze Premier ancillary product, Yardi Screening Works. Danielle D., you're currently operating on Breeze and have been with us since 2018. In that time, I see you've set up several online elements in addition to the core program like screening. In the renter preference survey that I had previously mentioned, they found that 50% of renters prefer to fill out their leases exclusively online. We also know from a recent market study done by our RentCafe Reach team that companies offering an online leasing process to prospects show a 5.5 times higher conversion rate than other competitors. Can you elaborate on how specifically adding screening into your leasing workflow has made the process easier for your team and your prospects?
Yes, like I said before, we're very close to Princeton University. So a lot of my prospects and tenants are actually university students or people who work at the university. With everything nowadays being online, the whole entire screening process streamlines everything for the applicants and then also for the tenants. Once they put in their information into the application and they're accepted, they're already in the RentCafe portal. So it makes it easier for not just them, but for myself as well. Before we were manually entering in all of the data, and now it just makes it perfectly easy and streamlined.
So to add on what Danielle said, same thing, we were manually entering in the applicant's information. And so there was always an opportunity for error, which would slow down the process. And it would usually cause a lot more issues than the time that we were trying to save. But when we moved to the Yardi Breeze system with RentCafe, like Danielle said, everything just is back on the applicant. They put all of their information and they hit submit. It's good to go. A screening can happen in the middle of the night. Oftentimes we wake up to a new application and we're ready to review. But one of my most favorite parts about the screening that they have is that it's connected to the RentCafe system, which is connected to thousands and thousands of properties across the globe, as well as, the United States here where I'm operating. And if they have lived, if the applicant has lived on a community or lived at a community where they've had RentCafe already, then all of their rent payments actually filter over to their screening report. So I'm able to see all of their rental payment history. It gives me a lot more peace of mind to make sure that we're making the right decision for, the resident that we're desiring. We're able to even see longevity. So maybe even if they've stayed beyond a year, maybe 2 years or 3 years, we're able to see a history of how long that they might stay, how their payment history is. And obviously, if they're continuing to be renewed year after year with the previous property, then we probably found ourselves a good tenant.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you do bring up is just how all of the components do play together, right? When you have the RentCafe aspect utilized and set up, it integrates seamlessly with the screening. And so it's nice to even hear that perspective of the fact that you're able to see the tenant history and kind of leverage that in your decision-making process as well. I also like, Megan, how you mentioned that it's almost as if business is happening while you're sleeping, right? Because you come in and there it is, you can take a look at the report and you can kind of continue moving from there. And yeah, it's like no time is lost. So thanks for sharing that. Danielle F, anything else to add on this one?
No, I think both Megan and Danielle D covered everything. We've experienced the same time savings, the same less chance of error when the tenants are inputting their own information. It's not having to be input duplicate times into different systems. It's just right into Yardi Breeze and everything's there for us to move forward with.
Awesome. Yeah, those are all great points on how important the screening is to building a truly successful community. Let's see, Danielle, I'll go ahead and continue with you, Danielle F, if you don't mind. I'd love to hear your thoughts on another tool that you've adopted to attract and convert prospects, our corporate websites. Would you care to elaborate on how increasing your online presence through your Breeze corporate website has attributed to your quicker and smoother online leasing workflow at Gramercy Management Group?
Sure. So we chose to implement a corporate website. The number one reason was basically to simplify our internal processes. With the corporate website, we don't have to rely on updating multiple different marketing sites. As soon as we update Yardi, our website is up to date within minutes. With the corporate website, there also is the option for tenants to create an account and fill out their online application and have it submitted to us right away, saving them a phone call to the office, providing paper applications, all that good stuff. They can attach all the documents that we've requested. They provide us to complete the screening process. On average, we've seen a savings of approximately 20 minutes per applicant when they have taken the time to fill out the application through our website.
Wow, that is a lot of time saved. It sounds like for both parties, similar to what we were just chatting through with the screening. One of the things I love about Breeze and Breeze Premier truly is the overall efficiencies that it does help our clients with, right? So that not only can you be more efficient while in the office, or maybe to Megan's point, while you're sleeping, but it also helps kind of ease your mind when you do leave the office each day, and you can spend more present time in your life outside of work as well. Megan, you also have a great looking corporate website through Breeze. I'd love to ask you a little bit about that. How would you say that your Breeze website has helped you increase your occupancy rates and boost your tenant retention?
Yeah, thanks, Mandy. We worked hard on it, but we were doing things in my opinion, kind of a hodgepodge way. We would list on a certain internet listing site, we would list on Facebook Marketplace, but we never really had an official website where people could go and check us out, check a little bit more about our company, a landing page where we could combine both our residential and our commercial portfolios into one spot for everybody. And so when we were able to, add the website, it really just helped us level up. I mean, it made us run, as I say, with the big dogs, play with the big kids. We joke a lot that we're a small but mighty management company, and to be able to perform at a level like the bigger kids on the block, you've got to have a website, and it's got to be more than just a web page with some pictures on it. It has to be fully functional. It has to have the capabilities for people to apply. And as Danielle Frank said, access their documents, upload documents, have that transparency there. And so bringing that website really just helped us level up in that regard. When we first started the process, I was a little nervous because I thought, gosh, when am I going to have time to build a website? I don't have that time. I do a lot of the functions myself here at Smart Moves, and the team was really helpful with that. They helped me with nudging me along, helping me pick some templates. They really did most of the building, and they would just essentially send me some mock-ups and say, how do you like it? Do you like this functionality? What do you wish would happen? And they made it a lot easier than I had said in my head. Another great part, I think that Daniel also commented on, but was keeping everything together. Before, we would have paperwork and very important information in multiple places, and it would require people to go track that down and then put it in a paper file or an electronic, drive. Having it, all brought seamlessly into a website that also feeds into our property management software. I have a lot more peace of mind with all the sleeping that I do, that we're not missing something that's important, something didn't get signed, a pay stub didn't make it to a resident file. All of that is in one place. I can check in the middle of the night if I wake up with a bad dream, and it's all there.
That was awesome. I'm glad you added that in there. But truly, I am glad that you brought that up about the support team. As Yardi, we have almost 40 years experience now in the real estate industry, and it truly does shine through in the level of support that we're able to provide for our clients, right? It's worth mentioning that there is a services team that has specifically dedicated themselves to the building out of those corporate websites and property websites specifically. So this could hopefully be useful information for anyone out there who's listening who might be a little bit nervous about taking on a project of that size, right? It's nice to know that there's dedicated teams working on those. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, anything else to add on to that, Megan?
Sure. Yeah, so I would say that the support is one of my most favorite features beyond RentCafe and having access to that. But I am a super user in the regard that almost every time I log into Yardi Breeze, I'm probably chatting with support. I see those 3 little dots on the message and I'm like, yay, my friends are there. They have walked me through so many things, repeated themselves multiple times on steps that I know that they have taught me how to do. They will send me, notes of what we went through to my email. They'll take over my screen if I get, in a really bad situation. They've just been able to help me on a regular basis. And I think that's probably one of my most favorite parts. I had great support with the website. I've had great support with my team, but that when I'm in the trenches, needing to get something fixed, to get an application approved, or to get something to move through, or my photos aren't syncing, all of those things, they just jump in and they save the day every time.
That's awesome, Megan. Truly good to hear. I don't know if I mentioned this to you previously, but I do come from the Yardi support side of things in my journey at Yardi. So it's always nice to hear that is working smoothly and well for you. So at this point, we've talked a lot about the steps needed to, attract and convert prospects. As you and other businesses out there are continually looking to add tech to your stack, what product specifically has helped you improve the resident and owner experience overall? Danielle D, I'd love to kind of direct this one at you if you have any input on that.
Yes, of course. So before we started using Yardi Breeze, I was actually doing everything manually with QuickBooks, Excel, and lots of paper. So Breeze has definitely streamlined the whole experience for myself, because I mostly use Yardi like every single day. Even with the RentCafe for the tenant portal, I created my own portal. So that way I have insight to the experiences that my tenants are using. And if they have any issues or questions, I'm able to help them as well. And again, a lot of my residents are students. So being able to have the self-service that they can access online between their rent payments or making any maintenance requests. They can do it all themselves without having to either call me or send me an email. And with the app, it's great. You take a photo with your phone, you put in the maintenance request, and it automatically gets sent to me. You don't have to worry about having your laptop or going to, sending me an email or anything like that. It's very streamlined, which is amazing.
That's a good point. Yeah, I like that you bring up the app as well and kind of helping with your specific tenants in particular. But so at this point, yeah, we've talked a little bit about how it's affecting those tenants. I'm curious, when you're working on kind of attracting new owners, is this something that you highlight, or would you say it's a selling point for you?
Oh, it definitely is. A lot of my owners like the fact that they can access everything through their own, like their owner portal. They don't have to worry about emailing me or calling me saying, hey, how's my property doing? They can access everything online. They can also see like the maintenance requests that are going through, what is being spent, and the income that's coming in. They also like the fact that I can electronically transfer their proceeds to them after everything is taken out at the end of the month.
That's another great point. Everything to the owners is then, in a financial respect, getting kind of streamlined, right? So kind of maybe provides them an ease of mind as they know what's coming for them. So awesome. Well, I'd like to kick it back to Megan. What has been the response from your residents in regards to the online portals? Anything to add there?
Yeah, so the residents have definitely had a lot of feedback of how much they love the online portal. As soon as we get a new applicant and we're onboarding them as a resident, we encourage them, if they haven't already, to go ahead and download the app. They're always pleasantly surprised how easy it is to set it up and all the functionality that's available for them. I just recently, last month, helped a resident get access to their ledger in the app so that they could get that to their tax person to prepare for their taxes. And I thought back a couple of years ago, that would require, like Danielle said, we kept it in Excel. So I would have to manually, provide all of these things and send it in a PDF. And there were so many steps and so many people that were touching that one document. Now it's at their fingertips. I probably won't be asked again from that resident next year, how do I get access to that? They're more and more curious to find out what's going on in the app. We've also found that if we've had any residents that have lived at a community where they've had RentCafe before, they're already brought up to speed. They already have the app. They know how it works. They know the functionality, and they're excited about it. And in our marketplace, the technology doesn't really exist with our competitors. And so we definitely, I would say, are on the top in our market. And we have gotten some referrals from residents that have come and applied for apartments. And they said, my friend lives in one of your communities and they just love the technology and how easy and seamless it is. They can message you and they get a message back, and it's so easy. I can find all of my paperwork and my documentation. I know when my lease is up. Really, all of the things that we would have so many back and forths at the office, we're not the person that's, the bottleneck standing in between them and that information.
Yeah, Megan, that's another good point. I like that you brought up kind of the big picture perspective. Right now, and in a lot of conversations today, we talk about where we're going and where we are, but it's really nice to think about where we once were too, in order to really relay the kind of true value add that we now have at our fingertips with the technology and how it's improved in the last couple of years. So yeah, really liked hearing that input as well. Jumping it back to Danielle Frank here, do you have anything to add here as far as what you would say has maybe most benefited your prospect and tenant life cycle the most?
The biggest feedback we've received from our tenants is the ability for them to pay their rent with multiple different options. A lot of tenants don't want to pay cash, or we don't necessarily accept cash all the time. Younger tenants don't have checks. So for them to be able to use the online system and pay by directly out of their bank account or credit card or an e-transfer or EFT, definitely seems to be a huge benefit for our tenants.
Yeah, I'm glad that you touched on the tenant payments as well, Danielle, because another statistic I do remember from the NMHC report that I mentioned earlier is that 76% of renters would prefer to pay their rent electronically, via debit card or credit card or ACH, or even like an app-based method. So having those options available for renters today is truly becoming more and more of a standard. And you're a testament to that. So I'm glad we can offer a one-stop shop solution, in Yardi Breeze and Breeze Premier, where it is all included in both. So that's really nice. Well, I know we've covered a lot of ground here today, all the way from prospect applications to screening and corporate websites and self-service portals. If there's anyone attending this conference listening in and wondering about online leasing, screening, or marketing websites, I highly recommend reaching out to our team so we can help you kind of discern if it's the best for you and your team to implement at this time. Thanks to each of you for your time and participation today. You've definitely all reminded me personally of the importance of being efficient and how it has a ripple effect on those around us. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.